Damn, Ingenious made the beat?
All right, yo, welcome back to the Coach Life Podcast. Today we got a special guest coming right back to us from last week. So we had a good intro. We learned about the man, the myth, the legend, Josh, Mr. Coach Josh Hopkins. How you feeling today?
I'm feeling lovely. I'm blessed.
Yes, sir, all the time. And then of course we got Coach Luna, dime dropper, always got the bars loaded for us. How you feeling today?
Man, blessed, man. I'm sorry I wasn't able to make last week. I had some internal difficulties, technical forgetting certain things. I had to go ahead and I certainly needed because I had to go ahead and turn those keys in and turn that ID in, and that was all attached to them keys. So I had to go ahead and get them back.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Understood.
Man, so that's always tough, kind of forgetting things. So you getting old, huh?
Man, that one could say the mental aging is occurring. I have those lapses. You know what I'm saying? I always, I'd like to play with the Michael Irvin, my CTE acting up. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, we all got that.
There's a reason for this.
So today to dive into the topic, this is the month of June. I feel like it's not talked about enough. I don't feel like it gets enough attention. So we definitely gonna give it the attention it needs on our pod today. But just Men's Mental Health Month. Our topic is the effects of men being emotionally caged. So we're gonna dive into it. Where does that come from? Where does it start? How did we get here?
Man, I'll pop it off, man. I'm gonna tell you what it is straight up, bro. It's machismo. It's machismo since we were kids, especially in the Black and brown communities. You know what I'm saying? It's never been something that was like crowned in any way of being an emotional man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like nobody, like, bro, you too emotional. Like, you and your feelings. Like, those were things that, if you were one of those people that would go ahead and express certain things, or you showed tears, or you were one of those type of people would literally, they would just get under your skin. Like if you were one of those criers when you got angry, you know what I'm saying? You were going to get picked on. Like people would just go ahead and try to push those buttons. So it's never really been a thing that, you're emotional like a female. Those are things that were associated with mental things that trying to open up or even, say anything. And then as you just get older, the callus just becomes hardened. That shell just becomes tougher and tougher and tougher. It's just it gets way, way harder as you go through your experiences and you go through your relationships, you go through hardships, friendships, all these ships that just continue to sail off. And you go through all those things and you just, man, you develop a shell and a hard exterior that you don't want to, you just don't, because I've tried it, didn't work, tried it, didn't work. And eventually you look at life and you're just like, man, I've done this, done that, done this, result. So therefore, now I'm going to go ahead and do it this way. Because if I can at least deflect, then I give myself a chance to not leave myself open for something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. What you think, Josh?
You made a lot of good points. I can't even say that, well, to back it up a little bit, you said it's not spoken about enough, and I wholeheartedly agree. I kind of correlate that to how African American Month is, or Black History Month.
Yeah.
And it's not, 1 month is not nearly enough to talk about that, with the history, nor is it enough to talk about men's mental health and what it stems from and how long we've been dealing with it. I think that I can't even say that it's taboo. Well, it wasn't taboo. I think it was just one of those things where it's not acceptable in our culture. You have to be a man, you have to stand up, you have to, just take it to the chin, just push forward. You can't show your emotions. And generation after generation that's teaching these same ideals, it just gets passed along. And without us really even knowing it until we hit our adulthood, like we are now, I believe we're all around the same age, probably the last generation of dealing with that type of machismo attitude that coach was talking about. And we don't really understand how much it has hindered us until we are put in that position to deal with those emotions.
Yeah.
And now with today's day, everything being a little bit more acceptable, mental health being talked about a lot more, now it's like, okay, I can talk about it a little bit, but now I got to find my tribe to talk about it with.
Yeah.
And it's only happening in certain circles unless you're going out to get your own personal therapy.
Yeah, man, I definitely I can go real deep into this, the layers of brokenness that occurred before we got to now. Just the breakdown of the family, I think in general, and societal structures changing. I'm always gonna blame things on capitalism, but I think just the pressures of what the man had to be to the household while the woman was at home. Obviously, woman always had her things, but it was always acceptable for her to be emotional. That's the expectation. And not looking at it from a human standpoint, this man is just supposed to bring home everything, make it happen. And then when everything breaks down and he feels pressure to make everything better, you can't show that. You were never allowed to show that. That heavy load was you were never allowed to openly carry your cross.
Yeah, you just got to fix it.
You got to fix it. And you can't share the tears. It's like you just got to be this tough guy. But it's so many layers to it because before when we talked about villages before. Now we talk about it from a literal sense. The household within a village came with a supportive woman. Not to say the women not supportive today, but I feel like there was a little bit more collab and less pressure. There was more of, there were gender roles, but there was more understanding. And if you get away from the structure we have today with capitalism and you look back at villages, we all gathering food, some way, shape, form, or fashion. We you teaching your children a trade. Mom is teaching the children what we send our kids to school for now. So it's so many things that divide us today that create the issues that we have now or have made them heavier than before. Because now you don't have the family together, and then there's more weight on you at that point. What happens when you're away from the house? You get the call that so and so got hurt or this happened. It's like, man, I'm not in a position to leave my job. I gotta make the money. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the case may be, but it's so many things that have been introduced to the household that has added to where we are at now mentally.
I can see that. I agree.
Yeah, but I mean, aside from that, then we can get into a race for real. We got those levels and those burdens, and some people don't want to tackle those conversations, but it's a real thing. The experience of a black man is different from that of a white man. Now we have to be stronger in a different way. Now we have to look historically, turn your chin or whatever. It's a lot of things you got to eat and take to survive. You end up in a jam, and then our prisons are full of black and brown people today because what we talked about, everything being bottled up, everything I'm talking about now, the wrong situation, perfect storm, all that is out in the worst way possible. There's a crime committed.
But I think what Coach Hopkins said earlier about finding a community, that I think that's probably one of the biggest things that I think we failed to realize that we could do. Like we're our black and brown, but we want to continue to be with the people that we always have been with. Like that's just natural. Like, bro, blah blah blah, and that's fine. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, some people are at different levels where they're needing mental, they need mental stimulation or mental, like, I need to be around different people that can kind of relate to the headspace of where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you need to go ahead and peer off and see and hear different things, because the level of thinking that I've consistently had has kept me right here mentally. And I'm ending up with the same solutions, and I'm putting myself in these same situations. And bro, like I'm struggling, you know what I'm saying? And nobody around me is giving me a solution. You know what I'm saying? Like, if anything, it might be aiding my problem.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So therefore I need to go ahead and, man, let me talk to so and so. Let me ask this question. Let me do this. Let me do that. And eventually, bro, you'll start exposing yourself to the solutions, and those solutions will always be near, but you gotta go ahead and let me go over here real quick. Let me talk to these people. Let me go to the gym and let me rub elbows with these people. Like let me go certain places and expose and hear people that are vulnerable, that let themselves, that are okay with talking about things, and be like, damn, bro, like I'm not crazy. Like, why? You remember when we were talking, me, you, T.Y., and it's just like, you'll never know those things, and people won't expose those things unless somebody else opens that door. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of like one of the things I talked about with my family this week. I was like, man, we're at the part where everybody has been able to identify a problem. They know the solution, but the biggest part where we're all is execution.
Yeah.
Like we know problem, we find solution. Cool, that's awesome. All right, but what are we gonna do about it? What's the execution? What are we gonna do about it? The execution requires that action. You know what I'm saying? And when you start doing those things, that unlocks and helps that mental thing and that mental drive and that everything that's innate in you, all that shit just starts clicking, bro.
Yeah.
To piggyback off of what you said, like going to the gym, finding those people that can mentally stimulate you or open up that door for you to be able to talk about the things that you've been harboring. I recently, as about 2 years ago, I found a group of guys at the gym that I can literally talk to about that. And I didn't really feel comfortable about it until one of them, he was actually the owner of the gym. He became one of my best friends. He's a very wise guy, but he's very open about who he is, what he's been through, an advocate of mental health. So he makes it a comfortable environment for you to be able to come in and talk about stuff. And so we ended up being like a group of 4 of us that, created a text message group, and we talk about everything and check in on each other's mental health. And he gave me, and the other guys too, they gave me the ability to think about things outside the box, to give me different answers to problems that I've been bumping my head on for the longest, like you were saying. And without that, if I just stayed with the same group of people that I've been with for the longest, I was never going to find my answers or be able to look at things from different perspectives in order to allow me to shift and adjust to things that I'm doing to get the answers that I need.
Yeah, yeah, we always say iron sharpen iron, man. It's finding like-minded people. And most importantly, another word we use all the time is vulnerability. Finding you gotta have a group of guys that's willing to be vulnerable. And you're fortunate enough to find the owner of the gym, and that's the first step, really, for real, really opening in that door. Because I identified what you said before. Luna, he saw when he met me, like, closed book, Jack. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just reading people, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it's hard for me to act. I try to be around people to do what I got to do around them. If it's work, all right, I'm socializing minimum to get the job done. And like, I'm sticking to the script. Even then, like, and then if I see something in you that we talked about this last part too, Josh, like, I'm very spiritual. I feel something jumping off of you. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Now I'm tucking back in my shell even more. I'm like, nah. But part of it is the other part of what we're talking about, pieces of us that can come out because we bottle shit up. And so for me, people be like, I'm not necessarily far on the introvert side. I'm extroverted with the right people. I ain't really an introvert like that. You know what I'm saying? You get me around the right group of people, you're gonna see a whole different side. I'm like, dang, I ain't know you silly like this. You know what I'm saying? But like, I'm not finna share that with everybody. You don't deserve it in my mind. You get around certain people, and then it's been times where I've opened the door, whatever reason, to the wrong people, and it's like, now I'm trying to check myself, because there's another piece of me, because of where we grew up, that's like, oh, you got the right one today. So now we trying not to catch cases. You know what I'm saying? We're not trying to go to that far side. So now, I don't want to put myself in positions to where that happens. But part of that is I've had enough people around me, been blessed enough to have enough people around me that check in, and then look at everything around you. You know what I'm saying? I think for like mental health, it's always good to find things that keep you balanced, and you got to identify that. So me, I did get a therapist some years ago, and that helped creating steps and lists of things to like bring you back to balance and to help you check yourself when you might be in a situation where things may go south, and identifying those things and share it. I mean, it's always good, like Luna said, you don't feel alone. You know what I'm saying? You find the right people to talk to, and you don't feel alone with it. But the execution, like you said, that's the biggest thing. But it's different for everybody, and you can make suggestions to your boys. And if you got a handful of people in the room, somebody should have something that resonate with you. You know, what Luna say may not touch me, but what you say may touch me, or vice versa, whatever the case may be. Like, oh, that actually may work for me. That may help in these situations when I feel this way. You know, if I feel like some type of depression setting on, these are some tools that you provided tips on that I can actually implement. And that's the biggest thing, is a self check, because we can receive stuff all day, but we got to do the work, and we got to be intentional about the work that we're doing on ourselves.
Yeah. And like you said, I think everybody has their own route. You know, like I told you, and I've said it on this pod a million times, bro. Like I have 5 funerals since November, bro. Like friends. You know what I'm saying? Like really close friends, and a couple of them I consider like my brothers.
Yeah.
Bro, I legitimately I couldn't be able to tell you how I've been able to just handle that, bro. Like I've just been going insane, going to the gym. And what's crazy is that, bro, every Sunday for the past like 2 months, dog, every time I'm at church, bro, I literally tear up in praise and worship during that time. And bro, I don't even like praise and worship. Like I always tell my wife, like, don't get me wrong. Like I don't want to say that. I like, bro, I'm trying to get that for the teaching. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to hear.
I used to be the same way, bro. I used to be the same.
Like,
I wanted to get to church late for some reason, and that's crazy coming from me, because I'm a music junkie. But it also depended on the church I was going to too. So that
I'll touch on that in another part. But like, what I'm getting at, bro, is like as I've continued to like find my own little lane of what's helping me with, just literally just kicking my ass in the gym and, just pushing myself physically. I find myself at times, bro, like sometimes, bro, I just get into my thought and my brain process. And I'm just like, bro, like, how in the world and how is that possible? Like that one moment, 5 friends, like it still just sticks with me all the time, bro. And you know what I'm saying? So for me, that avenue of going to the gym and finding a routine and, pouring out and pouring into others and trying to help, trying to train kids, like that has been helping me tremendously, bro. Like doing this pod, talking to people. I had people message me saying, bro, you inspired me. I said, no, I didn't. You inspired you. All I've been doing is just journaling and showing everybody exactly what's going on. And you decided that was a motivating factor for yourself. I'm not doing nothing. I'm not telling you to go do anything. I'm just putting stuff out there to go for you. You know what I'm saying? Like the past few days, the biggest thing that's been on my spirit is that lyric that I posted from Lupe Fiasco.
Yeah.
The greatest enemy is my inner me. You know what I'm saying? And that started to finally click. And I just started reflecting back. I'm like, bro, every time I had this thought that it was somebody else, or every time I had this thought that it was this is going on because of that and all this, I'm like, nah, bro, you did some stupid stuff and you paying the karma for it. That's the way life is. You know what I'm saying? There's a cause and effect for everything.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I've come to peace completely with all that, because I'm like, damn, like what else? Like, damn, this is all my karma. Like shit. But what I've come to the grips of realizing is if I want better going forward, then I need to be putting better now. And that's the only way I can guarantee or hope for the best in my future from any aspect of my life, whether it's mental, physical, or spiritual. I have to understand that everything that I'm doing right now is for the delayed gratification of what's coming tomorrow, hopefully next week, next month, year, 2 years, however many years left. And I think if we can hone in on that, try to focus in that little simple lane of energy, I think it kind of gives us hope as men and hope as people just to be like, whatever I'm going through right now is not a fixated state. It's not guaranteed. I'm not going to stay here. You know what I'm saying? Like time is going to move and I'm going to move too. But I just can't continue to do the same stuff that I've always been doing.
Same results.
Yeah, I recently been like checking myself on that, certain situations where I'm like, I had to catch it. It's like a aha moment. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, wait, I'm about to do that again. Don't respond like that again.
Because you're going to repeat the same thing again.
Yeah, it's always been the same. Don't do that again. Cut it. All right, move a different direction.
What's crazy is just like when you do finally do that, you're like, hold on, bro. I do have control over this. Like I told you, bro, there was no social situation for the past 33 right now, for the past 10 years where I was not drinking any social situation. It didn't matter. I'm going to pull up, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And I told you like 2 months ago, I went to this wedding and I swear to you, I had that urge to want to drink. But I was just like, you know what? Nah, I don't want to drive this far and have to drink and then drive back. Like that's what hurt my friends, bro. I'm not about to engage in that. So I went ahead and I'm drinking Topo Chicos. I had about 6 of them, mashing them like it was a Bud Light.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But it was going in.
Right.
Yeah. But in my brain, I was like, man, I can finally feel like I have more of a control. Like I can be in such a situation in a big moment like a wedding to where I don't feel the urge and necessity to be social. And for me to be social, I need to have alcohol.
Self-control. So you know what it sounds like that both of y'all are talking about, and what it boils down to is being self-aware. So I've over the past year and a half, 2 years, I've been conscious and being intentional about being self-aware. And a big part of that is taking accountability. A lot of us don't want to look in the mirror because the truth is ugly. But in order for us to get past the hump in the road that we've been bumping into for year after year, we have to take a look in that mirror, take accountability. All right, like Coach was saying, this is my issue that I've been dealing with. I have to face that so I can go ahead and get over this hump, and I can, be a better person, be a better man, a better husband, a better father. So that all feeds into our mental. And with me being self-aware, I understand, hey, in a situation, let me assess what happened. Let me assess what my part was in what took place. And it may seem a little bit robotic, but how I deal with conflict is now I assess the situation. I assess the person that is involved, if there is a person, because now that dictates how I move. If it's somebody that I know, somebody that I love and care about, I give you a little bit more grace. I'm a little bit more understanding. I won't just fly off the handle. Now, if it's a stranger, depending on the situation, I I might be a little bit more respectful, but you might just end up getting that south side.
Yeah.
But being self-aware, it actually helped me out with a lot of situations. It's helped me build my level of restraint. And with us as Black men and brown men, we need to have that level of restraint when dealing with certain situations, when it comes to women, when it comes to dealing with people of the lighter skin tone. We have to have that. And it's a good thing that we do, because we don't just fly off the handle and just do stuff on a whim, because we have consequences for our action. And without thinking, we can end up in a very bad situation that could hurt us in the long run, and not only hurt us, but hurt our family and friends. Yeah.
Ruin a lot of lives.
It's funny when you said that, because I read a quote the other day that said, what we've have come to accustomed to know what is mental health, like what is being mentally strong looking like. Mm-hmm. Instead of all this, these little army little things, it was restraint. Like real strength comes in the ability to restrain, and real strength comes in the ability to say no.
It's the opposite of what we taught.
Bingo.
It's literally the opposite of what we taught. Everything you learn in whatever impoverished area you grew up in, even when they teach you martial arts, you're learning to fight. But they actually focus on peace quite a bit and control.
Yeah.
Who was the one that went against the grain and went ahead, that came again and started going against all the martial arts teaching and started saying, no, this is the actual way. There is no game plan. That the game plan there is none. It's Bruce Lee. You know what I'm saying? He changed the way that they were, that warping basically everything that's kind of going into what we're talking about. was part of that.
I've definitely had the toughest battles in trying to undo the programming. It's actually
That's the
harder.
hard part.
It's harder to not act. It is harder to not act than it is. It's easy to go, fly off the hinge and turn up. That's easy.
It's against 33 years of condition or however many years old of condition. Like, bro, disrespect is going to get met with this. You know what I'm saying? Like, confrontation is going to lead to this.
You gotta learn not to match energy, man. I've been around people and I've caught them just being disrespectful behind other people's back. And I'm like, hell, you probably disrespectful behind my back, but I'm not finna do the same thing though. That's something I naturally I sit there and the flip side to that was because nobody's in that much control. So I was in so much control that I'll be the worst person to get out of control. That was it was there's been times I'm 0 to 100 and it hasn't happened real often, but it's to the point where like concern myself and I was like I need to avoid certain situations.
You sound like me.
Yeah, I'm like, and part of it is going back to childhood, and not saying my father taught me the wrong thing, but because of the neighborhood we was in, he had to build a bear. You know what I'm saying? He was like, you got to be prepared to die if you get in a fight. You don't know what the other person's intentions are, how far they willing to go. Pops taught me proactivity. He was like, you need to be willing to go there, whether you know they are or not. And that was kind of the survival lesson, when, aside from worrying about, guns and weapons, even scrapping, I know Josh, he heard about people getting stomped out to their demise, it ain't got to be a weapon involved. So like even in a street fight, that was kind of like my upbringing and my lessons. It was like extreme. So like if I'm willing to go there. It was programmed in me, and so that's something I had to recognize. Like it was programmed pretty bad because my brother actually saved me when I was younger. Like when I moved to the burbs, I was about to get one. I got in a situation I was gonna get one just over some name calling. Like I dropped my guard and
that's still real big for us.
Yeah.
As simple as name calling.
It was the N-word, and I hadn't been around nobody white other than like a teacher. I hadn't been around nobody my age that was white, all the way up to my preteens. And yeah, buddy dropped out. I was like, what? Now, I did have rules of engagement. I warned them. I gave them a warning. Calmly. We won't do that where I'm from. It's disrespectful on the, the background and the history behind it. I warned them. Swung back around to it. I ended up being chased around the block. It was almost a situation, but my younger brother stopped me. But that situation, a couple others, I knew I needed to get some things in check. That's one of the main reasons I started playing football. It was a legal release.
I feel that. Yeah.
Like some people say like I probably could have did more with football, but I didn't initially step on the field just off the strength of loving the game. It was I just wanted to hit people.
Trust me, I understand. I was fighting in the bathrooms in 6th grade, bro.
Yeah,
man. I was fighting in the class, fighting at the bathrooms, I ain't care.
I was almost expelled and everything.
Yeah, I was almost expelled as a kindergartner, but that
what?
So this is
hey man, what was in your formula?
listen to the beauty of this. You got 3 individuals that when we were adolescents can basically identify pretty much the same as hotheads. And now we over here talking about mental health, men's mental health. Mm-hmm. That's a testament to the journey that we've all went through and the ability to self-assess, like you mentioned, and having emotional maturity. Because there's a lot of men that are our age that still did the same thing then that are still having the same type of trigger towards anything at this age and older. You get what I'm saying? And, those are things that we have the ability to help and talk, whether we want to give it power or not. Our ability to have went through those things and see where we're at now gives us that vulnerability because hey, bro, I was right there with you. I was right there squabbling with you. But I'm here now, and I'm at peace, and I'm glad. I'm happy to be here. It took hell of work to get here, and I ain't even fully arrived. But I know exactly what the results and those triggers and impulse decision making. I know exactly where that's going to lead me. I know what me diving into the bottom of that bottle to seek and find answers, and I know waking up in the next morning and having no idea what damage I caused the night before, things I may have said, people I may have hurt. I have no idea because I was searching for something at the bottom of the bottle, but there was nothing at the bottom of the bottle every single time. It was emptiness within myself that I'm running from myself. Like Charles said, bro, like fam, like what you running from when you drinking that much? Well, I was running from myself. I was, like you said, coach, I was not comfortable with the person in the mirror because I felt like the person in the mirror internally, I was looking down on myself. Like, bro, like what are you doing? Like where are you right now? Like, what are we doing, bro? Like you content? This is it. This is what you're gonna be like for the next 30, 40 years. You're just gonna be getting lit all the time. That's it. That's your namesake. That's what you're gonna stamp yourself on. And I had that talk to myself, bro. And it hit me last January at all fucking places. In St. Lucia, when we were in our honeymoon, bro, the yoga instructor, my wife went ahead, bro. He just was like, I don't know, for whatever reason, he just kept like prodding at me as far as like, come on, Tomas, reach, go hard, like love your wife and all this other stuff. Now he was just pushing me to like, hey, like wake up. Is basically what it felt like in my spirit, how I felt attacked. Cause I'm struggling on doing freaking downward dogs and all these other, the yoga stands. I'm like, bro, these supposed to be easy. Like this supposed to be, I'm in here dying physically. I'm like, bro, I'm out of shape. I'm fat, I'm drunk, I'm hungover, I'm everything that I shouldn't be, and I'm not being a good husband to my wife. You know what I'm saying? Like mentally, I'm not. And I was like, bro, I gotta get myself together, bro. Let me start working on it bit by bit. I had to. You know what I'm saying? Like I said on here, bro, my wife one day when we got back, I was still sitting on that couch and she got on my ass. She was like, get up, like go do something. And at that time, bro, like boom, that started it. Yeah. And then once November happened, bro, it was just like, bro, I got this good groove. And then boom, the car wreck happened. I'm like, bro, here we go again. That week, bro, I did this. I went straight back to it, pulling up. We taking shots because that's how we deal with pain. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get lost in that bottle again, bro. Had to catch myself within about a week, and I was just like, hey, no, we can't do this anymore. Cannot do this, bro. Like we can't go back down this route, bro. And then on January 1st, bro, I freaking boom, just having a great time, take shots, blah blah blah. I'm leaving my partner house, bro. And he told me the whole time, like, bro, stay here. Right? I was like, nah, bro, I'm good. I'm dry. Bro, I had a panic attack. I never had a panic attack in my life. I promise you. I don't even know if it was a panic attack, but if everything that I Googled afterwards, I was like, man, that was a panic attack. It probably was. Bro, I had a panic attack driving, and I had to pull over at the nearest gas station. And all I heard in my head was like, Luna, bro, this is stupid. This is the exact same thing that killed your friends 2 months ago. That's all I kept hearing in my head, bro. Like I was getting chewed out, but it wasn't my voice. Like I was just like, bro, you stupid. You're going down these routes, bro. So I stopped, went in, grabbed some water, grabbed some electrolytes, bro, and I just chugged it. And I had tears flowing down my eyes, bro, as I was driving. And I had put a voice memo in my group chat. And the next day, my partner, he texted me. He was like, Luna, bro, like, what are you doing, bro? Like, how you gonna do that and knowing what just happened a month and a half ago, 2 months ago? How you gonna sit here and make that action knowing that was the results and what could have possibly happened? And bro, ever since then, bro, I was just like, you know what? I took that as a personal challenge, and I knew it was a spiritual challenge. I knew it was a mental challenge coming from him to tell me that. And I was just like, you know what, bro? I need to get myself together because every single time something bad happened, whether good, bad, I always found a way to find myself drowning in that bottle, bro. And like I said, bro, I finally feel like I can take a deep breath and feel like I don't have that urge, the necessity to feel like I have to. And I never can. I don't know what they all say. Alcoholic or alcoholism is if someone feels that urge to always do it at any time. I was like, oh, I never did that. But the weekends, oh boy, I'm diving to the bottom of the pool. I had that. That was cool, man. That was so freaking long. And it's only been a few months, but I feel like I've gotten this more together than I ever had before. But I'm like, bro, I'm grateful. Things could have went left a million times.
I guarantee you, your testament right now just help somebody. I can almost guarantee you that.
That's for sure.
Uh,
That's for sure. I think I was the same way, but I come from that. My family drink. I was Coach Luna know I drink brown. I tell people all the time, shoot, I've been drinking brown since I was a teenager. I was drinking Crown when y'all was clear.
oh, you've
Y'all,
been on it for a minute.
oh yeah, I was always brown whole time. Even in college, I'd come my own bottle. They come all the vodka. I'm like, man, get that out of here. And I used to be the same way, but I've definitely thought back and reflected, and I'm like, man, I'm definitely covered by God. I'm like, man, I'm definitely covered by God because the same thing you just said, like so many times. And it's like, you do got to ask yourself that question, what you running from. And sometimes you know the answer, but the self-awareness and then the decision to stop, making the decision to stop. And then also, which this wasn't as dangerous. I just smoked like a chimney. That was my device. It was bad. It was to the point I'll be copping and already had some on me. I'm going to get socks. Going to get
Real
socks out.
king.
Yeah, I was getting socks out the drawer and be like, oh, I forgot I forgot about it. It was bad, man. But it got to the point where when I had my son, and then I got the first time I got saved, which I talked about a while ago on a pod we had about spirituality. I got saved and I just dropped everything. It was then when I realized that I can operate and find peace as a solution because those things weren't a true solution, and I felt good without it. It's funny because I read 50 Cent book, and I was surprised to hear that he don't really smoke or drink. He talk about when he do club appearances that he'll have the bartender low key fill up a bottle with water, so everybody getting wasted at the club. He just putting on. He not acting drunk or nothing, but when he put his mouth up to the bottle, he drinking water,
They
and
say they
then
do that with water or apple juice.
yeah. And he also said, he said, I don't really smoke, but he was like, you're not really great at what you do until you can do it without some type of advice. You talk about just guys being in the studio. He was like, he just gave an example. What you gonna do if you trying to come up and you happen to be in the studio and Dr. Dre walk in and you always smoke to get some type of creativity. And Dr. Dre only got 10 minutes left. What you gonna do? You gonna tell him to wait while you go spark up? Like
Seize that moment.
yeah, you need to be able to operate without those coping mechanisms. You got to have some healthy ones. So the ones I think our go-tos are the gym and finding solid partners.
And like you said, it sometimes it ain't even running away from something. You might be trying to run towards something that you think you're trying to run to.
True.
Like for what I mean by that, it's like an area of comfort. You're trying to run to a place where you feel mentally like you can say what you want, do what you want. It gives you that
Facade
I'm
of
not
courage, fake courage.
bingo, liquid courage, right?
Yeah.
That's a space where sometimes that's where you trying to go when you went ahead and did that. But like you said, like you don't need that to go there, bro. Like you don't. You were great without it. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be even better without it. It's just until it's something that you recognize until you recognize that it's creating a problem and the problem is associated with me and I don't want to be associated as that problem, then you go ahead and say, all right, well, I'm gonna take that out. Okay. And then now I can start tackling these other things in the areas of whatever personality traits and things that I don't want to be. I don't want to be seen this way. I want to be perceived this way. Then I need to go ahead and do those things. And bro, what I've noticed is the more I filled my cup with doing things that were proactive, the other things naturally started falling off more than I like when I could look back and be like, damn, I didn't even like fully commit to saying I'm not doing that anymore. But it just naturally started happening because I was filling my schedule with this. I'm doing this actively. Like my days are boom, 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 boom. And I read something the other day that was like men are at their peak when they're pursuing something.
Yeah.
And I talked to my partners a couple of weeks, like about this about a month or two ago. I was like, bro, like we have to be seeking something. What is it that you're seeking? Like, what are you trying to accomplish? And I was like, this comes in one of the very first podcasts we talked about. Like, bro, if I don't have a goal in mind, if I don't have something that I'm chasing, what am I doing? What am I here for? there needs to be something that I'm chasing. There needs to be that need for me, because now that makes everything that I do is purposeful. Is it thing that I'm helping or is hindering? It's a balanced scale.
No
And
purpose,
then
no path, man.
and the more, like I said, the more I'm feeding that one where it's helping me, that balance scale just goes here, and all that extra stuff just falls off naturally, bro. It's just like
less time for the other stuff,
man, because you don't have time for that because it's not helping you, and therefore it's not going to be. It's just naturally just go. You want to get rid of bad relationships. You want to get rid of that. Okay, find good relationships. Go to places where good people usually associate. Go there. You're going to iron sharpens iron, magnets, all those cosmic laws of attraction, all that good stuff everybody want to call it. It works that way, and that's what naturally happens.
How do we find the places to go? Because today, man, I think, with social media and how people operate and how they program to operate now, we got so far away from what's natural. And then like the breakdown in the villages, and it's a lot more people that just ain't solid and don't know how to be real. And so like, let's stay in your circle somewhere. Where can I go find these people if I don't have them?
So you want to go? It don't matter. You can go
I
first.
live in. I've been around this for the past 9 years. Houston is now like the new mecca of hanging out. It's the city of flashiness, stunners, like everybody who's cool and wants to be somebody, social media, real life, whatever. You're in Houston. So being around that a lot of times, and then seeing how people's social life has taken on a different form, and what we feel is the new form of happiness, the new form of success and all of that stuff, you have to remove yourself from that. And again, being self-aware allows you to do that. You know that there's a reality outside of this phone. You know that you're searching for something more than what everybody else is deeming to be what life is or what life should be. So if you don't have that group of people that are like-minded, the easiest thing to do is to do something that everybody else isn't doing. The stuff that most people think are lame is the stuff that are the places where people are actually being the most productive.
Yeah, that's where the real ninjas at,
The coffee shop.
the coffee
shops, the museums, the
Ain't
art,
no fake people at the library no more, Yeah, they don't read.
Because most people now, they
Bookstores.
just want to be at restaurants, bars, lounges, and day parties and stuff like that. And it's cool if you want to indulge in that every now and again. But if you're trying to get more out of life, that's not the place that you need to be in order to feed who you are, who you want to be.
So
you keep going to these clubs and these bars and stuff, you gonna keep running into the same stuff. You ain't getting no intellect at a bar.
Nah.
You're not getting intellect at a day party. Like, that's not what people are there for. So you have to go to places where you're seeking that type of energy, that type of environment. So it's a lot easier than people are making it. They just keep falling back into the same stuff.
Habits.
Chasing the cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Shout out Lupe, another Lupe reference. That was one of my favorite artists. Shot-Town. Yeah.
Hey, Lupe, that guy. He's so underrated.
Ridiculously underrated. But yeah, I definitely I had to put that out there for people, because everybody like, where you go? And I'm like, shoot, if you looking for something real, you just might need to limit your time going out altogether. And then like some of the spots you just named, coffee shops, maybe bookstores, do something different. Do the lame stuff. Real.
How about this, coach? Go to those spots and approach somebody based off what they may be reading, and engage in a social conversation, because you're always that hermit crab that's waiting for somebody to come and talk to you. Step out your comfort zone.
The worst thing to say is I don't want to talk.
That's it.
And you a hermit crab, so that just
boom. All right, cool. Well, I ain't really want to talk in the first
trying
place,
to do that anyway. So yeah, we right back to where we was. Yeah, man. I hope we can get more out of this month, because it's bad, especially amongst men. I mean, you leading in murder, you leading in suicide, everything.
And everything as a result of an emotional state that I was in that moment that made me go ahead and make this impulse decision.
I think is something that I feel is good for us as Black and brown men. Is something that Coach you were talking about before, and that's having tools.
Yes.
And I had two fraternity brothers, one that I was somewhat close with, and they just so happened to be line brothers. One of them, you may have seen him before. He was a popular track athlete that ran for the University of Houston. He committed suicide, I want to say about 3 years ago. I don't know exactly what the reason behind it was, but he did. And the fraternity brother that I knew that he was line brothers with, he took it very hard. And he ended up committing suicide maybe 4 or 5 months ago. And so what I say about the tools is, to bring it back around to that, is although he knew that the last one that committed suicide, his name was Caleb. He knew that he had avenues and people to talk to, but he decided not to take those avenues. But I feel like if we have tools to help us to at least get through to the next day, so that we don't give in to those demons that's talking to us and telling us to go ahead and make that move, it'll allow us another minute, another second, another hour a day to get to somebody, or allow somebody to get to us, to talk some type of sense into us, or get some help, so that we don't take that step. So we have those tools, whether it's talking to each other, a group, or talking to a therapist. We need those tools. They're vital to our lives.
Yeah, I would say everybody needs to make a list. We always talk about writing things down. There's need to be something else that you write down. You need to make a list. What's gonna work for you? What are things that are aside from even talking to somebody? If you can't get to somebody, what are some things that are therapeutic and calming for you? What are some things that slow down your mind? For me, it's music. Whether I'm or writing, whether I'm writing, producing, those are my go-tos as far as things I can do. I can always pop something on or create something. I'm in my most creative space when I'm going through it anyway. So that's you hear pain in music anyway. That's every artist's outlet. Yeah, then list some people that you're comfortable talking to, and even if it's only one, there's some therapists. Some of them have themselves open for like emergencies. Utilize that.
Tell a doc, go
Tell a
online,
doc.
do it with Zoom, just like this.
I found
There
my
are a lot of
therapist
resources out there.
I found my therapist on I'm my mind going blank. I just reach out. I got the app on my phone. I can't even think of the
Yeah,
app. They're gonna have to cut the check though if I once I drop the name. Hold on.
you know what I'm saying?
Nah, but Coach Hopkins, I definitely agree with you, man. Seeking, and kind of like what Coach Wise was saying, find little avenues of, all right, how can I engage myself into this, and how can I, actively go ahead and do this. Like Coach Wise says, being creative, and for me, it's just been pushing myself, creating workouts for kids, and putting them through the workouts that I used to do, and then also putting myself and pushing myself every week, every day to be like, you know what, I'm pursuing each and every day. Whether the kid gets better or I get better, somebody's gonna get better today, and that helps me keep myself mentally pushing and keeps me, just driving, bro. Like,
yeah, you have to have something that keeps you productive, something, a goal, a purpose. And mine, sort of like yours, Coach Williams, mine is the gym. And I found a love for it about 2 years ago, basically lifting heavy shit. And I know that when I go into the gym, that is the one place that I literally control everything. For that hour, 2 hours, that's my personal space. I can yell, I can scream, I can curse, I can cry, I can do whatever. And nobody else can have an input on it. Nobody else can tell me what to do or how to do it unless I'm asking them for help. That is my time, and that's my coping mechanism, which I feel like everybody has when they're going through some stuff. Because the last few years of my life, it's been difficult, the most difficult that I've had in a while. And I'm glad that I found that outlet so that I don't do something else that's stupid, because we need to get that energy out. You need to get that anger out a productive way, rather than finding yourself being pissed and you just wait for the next person to step on your shoe.
Yeah, we don't want to make the news in a bad way. I got a heavy bag in my garage too. I ain't even mentioned lifting, but most of the time when I'm like going through tough head spaces is in the evening anyway. So it's kind of like I mentioned the music and the writing. Daytime, yeah, I'm gonna work out. We're gonna get some work in. And like I said, I got a heavy bag. I used to do martial arts and box, so I definitely go unload on that thing. And they got them cool little what's it called, like mash rooms or something like that. Y'all heard of those?
I
Heard of those.
did
I
that while
want
we
to
were
go to
working at
one.
You
Rage
say
Rooms.
Rage Room,
I did
Yeah.
that when we were working at Ridge, bro. Oh my God, that felt great. 15 minutes of just destroying anything with the weapon of choice.
Man, I think that's what I need.
That was very very relaxing.
Yeah.
I bet. I'm gonna try that.
It's
I'm gonna try that.
it's actually
I'll let
very
y'all know
unique.
how that goes.
Yeah.
You can do a sledgehammer, baseball bat, any type of little. Think of Grand Theft Auto, pick something off the
Yeah.
ground.
Yeah,
You can
just
go
do
ahead.
some random.
Yeah, bro.
Okay.
I think I grabbed the steel pipe. I said, yeah, give me that pipe.
Oh yeah.
Because Coach Luna, the crazy thing about that is, and I'm glad you brought that up. There's been plenty of times where I've been pushed to the edge, and I just want to grab something and smash it in my own house. But it's like that restraint comes in, and I think about, if I do this now, I'm scaring whoever's in the house. I done wreck whatever is in my own home. I gotta pay for it. If I'm in an apartment or somewhere I'm renting, now I gotta pay for that, or they gonna overcharge me. And it's just like, I want to do something, but I can't. So
I lost it before. I definitely put a hole in the door before.
Oh, I
Yeah.
have too.
Yeah.
Maywood. Oh, yeah.
But yeah, you and Maywood, some gonna make you lose it.
Man, when I tell you the stories out there.
I already know, boy. I used to be over in Maywood all the time growing up. Godfather stayed over that way. Man.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was better than K-Town at the time.
Hey, Coach, before we wrap it up or anything, I want to make sure I get this off my chest as far as like mental health. One of the things that's definitely needs that along with mental health being one thing to not talk about, another thing that a lot of people don't just give enough credit to is making sure you have balance. Find balance in your schedule. I literally, we were just talking about this earlier, my wife and I, about certain like jobs, especially within the hospital system, that the highest paying jobs are also the most stressful. And, and it was one of those things where I was just like, man, and they require a lot more hours. She was talking about it, and I could just easily, I don't want to put all business out there, but it's just one of those things where it's just like, knowing the things, like I told her, non-negotiables, what are the things that protects your peace? Make those be your priority every time you go into a situation, anytime you go into a decision-making situation, anything like that, you're non-negotiable. What job, what field, what career I may want to go into, because the things that are currently helping me, if I go ahead and substitute something that goes ahead and takes away the ability to do those things that were helping me, I will find myself back at that starting point or wherever I was before I was able to find that balance. And now I went ahead and brought myself back into the situation and headspace and thought processes that I had thought I had passed already, because I was letting myself choose this that kind of took my balance away. You know what I'm saying? So prioritize your mental, your spiritual, and your physical, because I think that's such an easy three little things to make sure that you keep it intact, keeping track of, and keep those things in there. And if you do those things, like, it just makes everything so much more easier and peaceful to decide. But with inflation right now, it's gonna get eaten up anyway. So don't go trying to chase that all that.
That's a big word. I definitely agree with that. And shout out to you, Coach Luna, because inspiration. I never would have considered middle school. I put that back on my list and kind of saw your shift in your headspace and your balance when I watched your balance, get right with that change. And I completely left the system, but when coming back to it, I'm like, man, I knew non-negotiables. I was like, I can't go coach high school football again right now. Maybe somewhere down the road. I don't see it right now, but I know I can't do it right now. Like you said, it was gonna put me right back where I was. And that was a non-negotiable. I was like, this is what I'm willing to do. And obviously you already know, with us being coaches, anybody talk to about a job, they was still coaching. They didn't give a damn about what I was trying to do in the classroom. So But fortunately, Coach Wash gonna be going into middle school. Instead of coaching for the school, I'll be focusing on my private training. Definitely excited for that because I could do what I love, but at the same time, it's on my schedule. And I've never experienced working in education with a summer off. So that's going to be new.
It's awesome. You get so much more things that you can take and partake in and explore. See what other avenues they could potentially, what open doors can potentially open up. The opportunities are in abundance. Just stay purposeful.
Absolutely, absolutely. We kind of summed up a little bit. My summative response was an announcement, really. But what you got, what you got, Josh?
Okay, so I do want to leave Coach Washington and Coach Luna and anybody else that this podcast reaches. I implore you all, Black, brown, whatever, as a man to work on self-love, being aware of yourself, and continuously be intentional about your personal healing. Being a better person, working to be a better person each and every day, that will shine a light on everything else around you. And it's going to do one or two things with the people that's in your life. Either they're going to move with you or they're going to move out of the way. But one thing's for sure is your life is going to be more peaceful and you're going to have a better mental space that'll allow you to handle certain situations a lot better than you used to. As we talked about earlier, we're all living testament of how we became, how we grew up to how we are now, and if we can do it, and make that change and being intentional about it, there's other people that can do it too. We're just living proof of it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, I would do the whole little Coach Steve wrap up, but that ain't my thing. I do got to leave y'all with something though. I can't forget my duties. We always got to share our gifts. They not ours. No gatekeeping. So I got to spit something for y'all. I'm just deciding. I've been trying to decide the whole pie, like what I wanted to do. So since I can't make up my mind, I'm probably gonna have to go with two. All right, this is what I'm gonna do. So this one right here, this one unleashed something. And y'all will have to rewind because Coach London said it before. Yeah, my mind just be so catch the bars. Now the body go farther than me. Calculate your downfall just for bothering me. Add bad intention with devious gene. Now subtract the conscience, removing your spleen. Power to vengeance multiplying this scene. Divided the heart, sweet angel turn mean. Find the square's root, money is green. Inventions was the angle that started with fiends. Triangles are the shapes at 180 to team. The power of three had us living a dream in the same power that run the machine. If the sheep see, they murder regime, but add fear minus the brave, there's never a team. Let that marinate.
I'm gonna have to definitely run that one back.
Yeah, that one loaded. And then we got the dreams. I'm gonna share a piece I wrote, which I shared with you before, Luna. I'm just gonna recite it this time though. Actually, no, flip that. I got so much. I'm sorry. So this one is flipped. I think this one is fitting. So just a little backstory behind this one. This one kind of talks about switching people due to interactions or bad interactions, right? So I'm an asshole. No, I'm with the shits. I grind like 4 flats, but my drive never quit. Miss me with the timid shit. What you want ain't limited. Play the game like scrimmages till I see preferred images. When I get it, I want no blemishes. My struggle rewarded with finishes. Often can't help but reminisce. Fought through a lot of menaces to the point where I became my menaces. Discarding shit, no reminisce. Never starting shit, but I finished it. Left the enemy with blemishes. Nothing to see here, bad images. By any means, win scrimmages. Now what I do ain't limited. Address danger, no timid shit. Battle to the death. I never quit. Now I'm the asshole with the shit.
Gosh, there's some shit. Right, bars.
Y'all go and rewind that first one many times.
I'm gonna have to.
But I might do a breakdown of them bars one day. I'm gonna do a recording breakdown of that one. We appreciate y'all for tuning in once again. If you like what you heard, like and subscribe. We on YouTube, also on Spotify. We got some real good things coming. In regards to special guests, we always gonna bring somebody fresh to you. Coach Wash is revamping a lot of things. I just narrowed some things down with some gear. So I'm hoping this summer I can relaunch some new apparel for y'all. Aside from Coach Life podcast radio, which goes out to all the guests. You got one coming to you, Josh. So I gotta get your size and get one mailed over to you to one of your addresses. And then and so I get one over to you. But we appreciate y'all, man. I hope you got a lot from it. And be safe, check yourself, and don't wreck yourself. Love you. Peace.